Hey everyone, Steve here. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. Stay tuned to the end to check out our song Get By, a cover song from Dave and Pete's old band Gong Farmer. Available on our release, Live, Laugh, Love, The Alliterates, 2022 to 2024. Now available on Bandcamp, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and more.
Band called The Hand of Doom.
Sounds familiar. Named after the Sabbath song?
Possibly. I don't really know too much about them. It's a 1979 album called Poison Noise. Looks like these sets are only released on Spotify. Incredible, rare Europunk/metal DIY masterpiece originally released in 1979. Sourced from the original master tape, carefully restored and remastered sound. Originally released in 1979 with only 500 numbered copies. Nowadays, it usually goes for 700 plus at Discogs, eBay, and similar. When hearing The Hand of Doom, it's easy to understand why. It's like the Stooges fronted by Count Dracula with a pinch of Rocky Erickson, the Evil One era thrown in for good measure. Think the most punky and brutal new wave of British heavy metal singles that has ever been recorded, a maximum rock and roll guitar riff-o-rama. It's a DIY punk metal masterpiece most likely to blow the minds off everyone into any form of truly great music.
Hand of Doom, you say?
The Hand of Doom came from a small town called Bad Hersfeld, located by the border between former East and West Germany. Frustrated by the boredom and absence of anything interesting happening, they recorded and released Poison Noise all by themselves. Yeah, apparently it was never fully released until 2019 by On the Dole Records.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh, when was it recorded?
1979.
Okay. I actually had a very similar experience with a band called Necromandus, which was recorded and produced by Tony Iommi back in the 70s, but for some reason the album didn't come out until the early 2000s. And it's kind of a decent, British rock album. So
Nice.
yeah, kind of in the vein of Sabbath, but more jazzy, I think.
Yeah, and I only have one song by them on this, on the Hot Rods to the Gods playlist I created for inspiration purposes.
Mm-hmm.
A song called Ain't No Running Away, and it's a fantastic song.
Nice.
So today, by the way, I will be Pedro de la Pedro.
Pedro de la Pedro. Okay.
Yep.
We'll probably fuck that up like 5 times.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready? How are our levels looking?
All looks good.
Hello, and welcome to Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Dave.
And I'm Steve.
And we have a guest with us today. Pedro, introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Pedro de la Pedro. And that's all you need to know about me.
All right. How are you doing?
I feel really glad to be in AC. I was just over at my folks the last couple days, and due to the recent flooding in their hometown, they're just getting back into things, and they do not have air conditioning. And it was a really, really hot, muggy couple days with no air conditioning. And Steve, you have the air conditioning that my heart needs.
Well, I'm here to please.
All right. And I know I'm going to get different answers here for this one. So we'll start with Steve. Steve, what do you know about the band X?
Nothing.
Nothing at all? You've never heard a song by them?
Not that I'm aware of.
You have never been forced to watch a documentary about them by a former bandmate?
Maybe I forgot about that.
And also maybe this other former bandmate.
Pedro, what do you know about X?
What do I look like, a guy with a good memory?
No comment.
What? All right. yeah, I'll let that be.
It's just gonna be one of those things where we put it on, I'll go, oh,
non-0% chance, but maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
So I'm actually pretty familiar with the band. Not really familiar with this album. I don't believe this is the ones I actually own. I mean, it looks kind of familiar. Well, let me see the track listing real quick. I still don't know if I actually have this album, but I actually am familiar with all the songs.
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about their second album, which is called Wild Gift. It was, it was released in 1981 and was produced like their first album and their third album and their fourth album by Ray Manzarek.
That name sounds familiar.
Steve, do you know who Ray Manzarek is?
no.
The keyboard player from The Doors. But yeah, X were... Anyway, X were a Los Angeles punk band in like the early days of the LA punk scene when it was a little bit more all over the place before hardcore really solidified. And they were kind of rockabilly tinged. They kept going. They signed to a major label on their third album and had some decent success in the 80s. But this was when they were still an independent punk band. And I'm going to pass this over and have you examine the art and tell me what you think. Also look at the back.
Alrighty, so the coloring choices on this are interesting. It looks like what I would describe as a demented birthday party, because it just, I don't know, it's dark in a way that unsettles me for some reason. Like, I don't know why, but yeah, it's got their logo covered in sparklies and then Wild Gift all wrapped up, and there's presents and presents and presents, and then you flip it around, and then you got band member portraits here along with the track listing. Also there's a kitty there.
Yes.
And that's the most important part. Let's see. That's a Scooty Puff Jr. there. And then a house of cards. And then she's getting her hair all blown up. So yeah, this looks like a demented birthday party to me.
Yeah. The back cover, it is individual portraits of the band, and so like on the top left corner there's bass player vocalist John Doe looking cool with a notebook where he's probably working on lyrics, and a house of cards stacked. And then there's Billy Zoom, the guitar player, and the next one on a scooter of some kind and a leather jacket, looking, also cool in a different way. Then next there is Exene, the vocalist, with a hairdryer pointed directly at her head, like one of those hand hair dryers in a public restroom, and it's blowing her hair up in the air. And then in the last final portrait, there is drummer DJ Bonebreak spoon feeding his cat wet food. So I think it says a lot about their individual personalities on this.
Indeed.
I did just see X myself. They were in our city and they played a venue, and it was a good show. But some friends of ours, Trey and Lolea, who used to own a bar that we love, Brothers, were there, and they checked out a copy of Beyond the Black Sun, which is John Doe's book that he wrote about the LA punk scene. Well, he compiled it. He wrote like most of it, but then also got a bunch of other people in to contribute chapters. And Trey and Lolea checked out a copy from the library and brought it to John Doe to sign. He signed the library book, and Trey and Lolea returned it to me at work the next day. I work at the local library. And so I just put it in the collection and put a note signed by the author because I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, so there's a copy of John Doe's book about the LA punk scene in the library. that is signed by the author. And I think that's really awesome.
That is pretty cool.
If you have told me that like 3-4 years ago, that book wouldn't be in the library for long.
No.
I would find some way to, maybe because actually I own a copy of the book myself, so maybe I would just take my copy, take the library's copy, very carefully take the library paperwork or the code, stick it in my copy, give it back to you guys.
Why isn't the RFID scanning? Oh, well, we'll just reprogram a new one. We have the barcode. Done. Yeah. Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
For theft.
Yep. There's all kinds of ways to steal things.
I love stealing. I love taking things.
Now, it's kind of funny to note that there's a cat on the back there, especially considering that it's DJ Bonebreak's cat, apparently.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 cats. Well, 3 cats we have, but one of them is named Exene, Cat Vinka. And the other one is named Zoom, after the aforementioned Billy Zoom.
So you need to get another cat named DJ Bonebreak.
Perhaps. Or maybe we just need to change J Jet's name to something different.
Yeah. You gotta fit the theme.
No love for John Doe.
No John Doe, I've seen a solo set. I really liked his solo set where he just did the acoustic guitar.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
I like his acting.
His acting is good.
I was actually familiar with his acting before I ever heard the band.
Oh, that is interesting. How did you...
Roadhouse.
He was in Roadhouse. Yeah.
Yes. And I took particular note of him in Roadhouse because there's a scene where he says to Patrick Swayze's character Dalton, "What are you afraid of, little me?" And I think he pulls a knife out or something, and then Swayze punches him in the face. But the editing, they didn't get quite right, and it was very obvious that he had the smear of blood under his nose before he got punched.
So this would have been around the time when Lee Ving was in Clue too.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
When all the big LA punk guys were doing movies. Well, not all of them, but yeah.
There's a further twist. So the copy we had of Roadhouse, we copied off of HBO, and on that cassette there was Major League, Roadhouse, and then I think Star Trek 4, whatever Star Trek where they saved the whales.
Yeah, that's for
Star Trek 4, the one with the whales.
So
when they do the reboot movie, Star Trek 4, the one without the whales, then I fucked that up. Anyway,
but so one summer, me and 2 friends, virtually every single day, would watch Roadhouse. We'd watch Major League, watch Roadhouse, then rewind it and watch Major League again. And what's interesting there is the version of Wild Thing that was played whenever Charlie Sheen came onto the mound.
Yeah,
was the X version. So
that's right.
Two references of X on one cassette before I ever knew about the band.
Nice. They were in the whole LA scene before, like, right as it was starting. Like some of the artier New York bands had kind of a background in poetry going in. You can kind of hear that in the lyrics.
Yeah, because he met at a poetry workshop, I believe.
Yeah. And then Billy Zoom was just this really young, charismatic guy who stuck out his tongue while playing his sparkly Gretsch guitar.
Prior to X, I believe he was actually playing saxophone for an old bluesman.
That makes sense. Eventually, by like their 4th album, they started incorporating his saxophone skills in as well. The nice thing about like seeing them live now is they will do some of the saxophone songs still, and he'll like lick his guitar pick and stick it to his forehead. It'll stay there for the whole song.
Nice.
He survived cancer in like the aughts, and so he usually sits down for most of the set now. But
yeah, because he had that perfect stance. He would just stand there, legs spread out wide. He absolutely would not look at his guitar. He would just smile at the whole crowd while playing these really complicated guitar licks.
Yeah. And then, yeah, stick his tongue out. Like, there's some really good footage of him in his younger years playing with X on the documentary Decline of Western Civilization Part 1. And every time that he becomes aware of the camera pointed at him, he just mugs it up and looks at it and smiles and sticks out his tongue. But yeah, that is X. Wild Gift was their second album. They worked a lot with Ray Manzarek because Ray Manzarek was a fan of the band. They even covered a Doors song on their first album, which we will not hear because this is their second album.
Oh. No soul kitchen for Steve.
No Soul Kitchen. I like the X cover better than the original. I like the Doors, but I like the X cover better than.
To be honest, they're both kind of You know, they're not necessarily bad songs, but I don't really care for them that much, I guess.
They were a great band with some like really poetic lyrics, rockabilly influence, and some pathos. At this time, John Doe and Exene were married, which they eventually divorced, and they still play together in a band all the time. And the divorce didn't really affect them putting out records, so I think it might have been amicable, but.
Just like Fleetwood Mac.
There's a Fleetwood Mac moment on this record once we get to side 2 that I'll tell you about. But yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, because I don't know that story. The one other thing that I always thought was really interesting about Billy Zoom is about the exact same time that he started playing in X, he also started becoming addicted to speed and became a born-again Christian. Typically, you play in the punk band while addicted to drugs, and then you clean up and become a born-again Christian.
Right, yeah. That also makes Beyond and Back, another song on side 2, pretty funny. But yeah, that is a lot of background information about the band. We will get the first side started here.
Sean, old buddy, how's it going?
Steve, I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm polishing my rods.
Well, I'll definitely have to let you get back to that. But first, I just wanted to let you know that our band, the Alliterates, has a new release out called Live, Laugh, Love. The Alliterates, 2022 to 2024. Now available on Bandcamp.
Okay, love ya. Bye.
And we are back. That was side 1 of Wild Gift by X. Steve, what did you think?
So I was actually really surprised at this side because, first, this side is split into 2 sides of its own, I feel like. But before I get into that, I will say, at first, I thought it was funny that I thought the record was on like a higher speed at first, and you guys had to be like, no, it's right.
Yeah.
And I had that vibe for like the first 3 songs. I was like, this just sounds too fast to me. But no, I actually really liked it. I can tell that they were like old school, like rock and roll and like country and folk fans. Like there were a whole lot of different mix of things on here. And then I like how it really shifted into like a really heavy rocker, like right in the middle of it. Like I wasn't expecting that at all.
So a funny thing about like them being, you know, like old school rock and roll and country fans is they were friends with Black Flag. And they knew that Black Flag was getting constantly pulled over and harassed by cops when they were on their way back from their practices. So John Doe's plan to get around it when he was doing it is when he got pulled over by cops, he just talked to them about like, oh yeah, we play music like Elvis and Merle Haggard, and the cops would let him go.
That's fucking great.
That works.
Yeah.
No, so I won't say my friend's name. I'll just say Eyebrows, and I think a lot of people know who I'm talking about when I say Eyebrows from Omaha. So he had a 21st birthday party, and he was like 2 days past 21 at this point, right? And they got busted. And, you know, of course, you know, he's shitting himself thinking he's going to get like continuing to minors or like 20 kids.
Yeah.
Right? and these are all people he like, like a week earlier, if he got busted, he would have been busted along with them. Not, has this supposed, adult who's like corrupting them or something. But the guy, the cop turns out was a musician and saw the guitars, and so Eyebrows just kind of considered, you know what? He's a cop, probably likes country music, and also being a country music fan himself. He started talking about, it's like Merle Haggard and, old country guys, Johnny Cash, stuff like that. And like within a week, he got a notice saying that, he wasn't getting charged.
Nice.
They're just like wiping it.
He's also a very charismatic guy and can talk his way out of things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is definitely a hustler.
Yeah. Good for him. Yeah.
I always love a good getting out of a cop story.
Yeah.
I usually like to get in cops. Hooga.
Oh!
Hi-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
It works, yeah. Black Flag, when they learned the trick, didn't go along with it because why would they?
Yeah.
they couldn't confidently talk about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm Henry. Punch.
Yeah.
We like Hill Street Blues.
But yeah, go through song at a time. Opener, Once Over Twice. Great opener.
I really like the old school like surf rock vibe, but mixed with the locomotive style drumming that they use in like the old school country. I thought it was a really good mix.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is kind of common. I remember when I visited the Country Hall of Fame in Nashville, there was a whole section dedicated to like California country artists, and I think that was kind of a thing, is they had like a surfy vibe to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird how surf has like definite links to both country and like punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, usually when I think of like surf and punk rock, I think of like East Bay Ray from the Dead Kennedys.
Right.
Yeah.
Even to a certain degree, like thrash, because like I remember Anthrax covered Pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And I think they even referred to it as like the first thrash song.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that, and I'll talk about this more when we get to it, but like one of the songs I said sounds like it could be covered by a thrash band, like Megadeth or Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good, solid opener. I like the lyrics. I'm not quite sure exactly what they mean, but like I like the feeling of them. I heard a sad song by another man sung by another band sung by another man. It's I like that as just like a general statement. Just it feel like there's kind of like a universality in like the sadness that a lot of musicians feel, and you feel like you're saying the same things as other people a lot of the time. I thought that was just really cool. You can talk about this on most of these songs, but on this one especially, I like the way John and Exine's vocals bounce off of each other. Like they're kind of unconventional little harmony thing they have going.
Yeah, I agree.
Next track, We're Desperate. My favorite track of the album, and the side too, but Pedro disagrees, but we'll get into it a little bit. It's just a really good, like, it's the most like hardcore punk song on this side too. And when I got into X, I was expecting them to sound more like a hardcore band than they do, and so maybe that's why I latched onto that right away. I think I like it better that they're more of like a rockabilly country tinged band than a hardcore band. But to me, I really latched onto this. I first heard the song at a time when I was desperate, play too hard when I ought to go to sleep, that phase of my life. And so it was just really, really cool to hear. It was relatable, having to move a lot because you're broke, that whole thing. And one of my favorite things about it, too, is in the original Decline of Western Civilization, the first documentary about it, X is in it for a while, and they get interviewed, and Penelope Spheris interviews Exene for a little while about this song, and she's talking about how they're kind of doing better, and And she's like, as we get more successful, I feel like people aren't going to relate to the song anymore. Like, sure, they're desperate. I paid $6 to see this band. Sure, they're desperate. And like, I was thinking of that when I saw them live because they did the song too. I was like, yeah, I paid $60 for this ticket. Sure, they're desperate.
I put the choppy, urgent guitar playing. I thought really complimented the lyrics of it, and I also put, I think it would probably make a good new metal cover song. Like I could see, I don't know. I'm trying to pick like a good new metal band, but that's kind of hard.
Deftones. Actually,
I could hear Deftones doing
yeah.
it. Yeah,
I could hear System of a Down doing it too.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
But yeah, We're Desperate. So that was the first song I ever heard from X. And it was one of those, and I think on one of the other podcasts, I think the other one I did, I think I maybe talked about this a little bit, but so I got into, like Offspring and Green Day in '94, like a lot of people my age did.
Yeah.
And the next year, I found this compilation, Faster and Louder Hardcore Punk Volume 2, with a ton of different bands on it. But X was on there as well, We're Desperate. And so that was my first indication of what they sound like. And then my second one is when I saw the documentary and saw kind of like a wide scope, and it was really kind of confused a bit.
Yeah. And the compilations that they do of it, they tend to do the single mix, which sounds like a little rougher, a little more like a hardcore song.
Yeah. This one I would almost say this version sounded more brittle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. And then the next song is Adult Books, which is another one of my favorite tracks on the album. It might be my second favorite. I remember while it was playing, Steve, you said that you could really hear the country influence, which I think is funny because the guitar riff in this, they co-credited the New York punk band Television for it because it was kind of an interpolation of their song "Prove It," which is like kind of a jokey song about Sherlock Holmes.
Well, they definitely deep fat fried it.
Yeah, it sounds like they did a country interpolation of a Television song. Television do not sound like a country band, but yeah.
No. The thing that I always love about Adult Books is at the end, Adult Books. They just have that the interplay that I just I always just really loved the way that sounded.
Yeah, I like the weird things that he does with going up in his vocals while Xena's kind of starting to yell it more. And I
think it's a good use of dynamics.
Yeah, I also like how the second verse is just a reference to some of their friends from other bands. Like when it's talking about Jane, that's Jane Weedland from the Go-Go's, and it's about overhearing her do like S&M play through the wall of the apartment.
What was it the Sunset Apartments that everyone lived at for a while? Yeah.
And then Do Plenty People Go for Tomato? That's a reference to the lead singer of the Screamers, Tomato Do Plenty.
Is that the band that you bought the DVD from that we're going to be doing at some point?
Yes.
Yeah, because they don't have any real official releases.
No, but they recorded, video recorded a lot of their gigs because they thought that was the future of things, which they were kind of right, but they were too ahead of their time to make that work.
Yeah, they were 20 years off there?
Yeah.
Approximately, yeah.
Well, it paid off eventually.
Yeah, it paid off for other people, and now people talk about them with bated breath. So, yeah. They were my favorite band from the LA period, but, I think more people would know about them if they'd actually just sat down and recorded an LP.
Tomato.
Yeah. Tomato. Yeah. Tomato. And then next was Universal Corner. This was the longest song on the record. And this was the one where I really heard, the kind of rootsy, bluesy, country rock.
So, I noticed a shift to a heavier style, heavier in the sense of late 60s, through the 70s. And when I was listening to it, I can hear a Screamin' Lord Sutch version in my head.
Yeah. Yeah,
or maybe Hawkwind. I could see Hawkwind doing a version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could definitely hear, like this, like a version of that, like by the Rolling Stones, or by like a number of like British garage bands from that era too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
really.
you know, actually, from a philosophical standpoint, I'm wondering, is that actually a good thing or a bad thing if you hear a song and you start thinking about all the bands that you'd want to hear cover it? Does that mean that they sound too much like those bands all of a sudden? Or the fact that it was just so evocative of that period? I don't know.
That's hard. That depends on does everything make you think of like a small range of bands, or does
Yeah.
like the whole thing make you hear their influences too? Or yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, part of the enjoyment process, or well, I should say, part of the process for me to kind of examine a song structure is for me to kind of search my head archives for like similar things to compare it to.
Mhm.
And I guess maybe that's just so I can like find a way to attach myself to it. And I think that's also because I have this ability in my head to kind of like play back music and alter things in my head. Like I'm able to like compose in a sense as well. And that's why I'm able to like when I say I can hear Screaming Lord Such sing this, I can kind of hear it actually in my head. So no, I don't think it's indicative of them being unoriginal. I think it's just there are no new ideas under the sun. So I think it's just kind of it's combining all these other different things together into like a Transformers of a song, basically.
Yeah. And then next we had "I'm Coming Over," which is an awesome song to pogo to. It's more of a song to pogo to than to mosh to, because it's like almost too fast to mosh. You have to just jump up and down.
Yeah. Besides hearing Lord Such on this one as well, I could hear Motorhead like doing a rockin' version of this one.
Yeah, this was probably the fastest song.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like I kind of said, it was almost like a headbanging masterclass.
Yeah.
You can't really headbang, you just kind of head shake.
Yeah, excellent vocal delivery. Like, she does a good job at spitting out lyrics really fast, but also enunciating. It's
Not easy to do.
no, very not easy to do at that speed. And then last track closing out the side was "It's Who You Know."
Oh yeah, another awesome heavy rocker. And that one I thought almost reached thrash metal territories. Like I could hear like Peace Cells era Megadeth doing that song, or like Pete mentioned and Pedro mentioned Anthrax. So I could hear either of those doing that song.
Well, the little lead guitar fills in between, really felt like thrash on that one.
Yeah.
No, and I think you kind of summed it up, is that it just, it hits you like a jolt, and I have a hard time picturing a lot of those thrash bands listening to X specifically. But you wonder how much of that influence kind of carried through, even if it's filtered through like some of the other hardcore bands that were influenced by X.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see it being like separated by like a hardcore band, like you're saying, where they're influenced by another influence. So.
Right.
Well, and I think like a lot of the thrash bands tended to like the Sex Pistols and the Clash more than they liked X, but I can also, they also were probably aware of X, and then also probably liked Black Flag, and X is the missing link between that kind of. So yeah,
Right. Like I think of Jeff Hanneman from Slayer, and I know he had a lot of influence influence from the LA hardcore scene, but I don't know how much X would play a direct role in that. But,
Yeah.
But that he's always the first one I think of, and so Black Flag, DI,
Yeah.
A lot of those bands.
Yeah, Megadeth's covered a number of like punk and hardcore bands themselves to varying results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think probably too, like when some of the people from Slash bands were getting really into hardcore, that was when X was doing their saxophone and xylophone songs. So, like their fourth and fifth album. So yeah.
What do you mean I should cover an X song?
But yeah, that was the first side. The second side, I think this is one of the great all the way through albums. Like when I said what I thought my two favorite songs were, they are on the first side, but I don't know. I said Adult Books is sometimes my favorite song, second favorite song. Sometimes it's Beyond and Back. Sometimes it's White Girl. Sometimes it's Back to the Base. So, side 2 still has a lot of excellent songs.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick between the last 3 were all in my wheelhouse when it comes to enjoyment. So I'm not sure if I can pick between those 3 in a favorite one. So I'll just say those 3 were my favorite so far.
Pedro, what was your favorite on the first side, at least?
Adult Books.
Adult Books is good. I'm a little sad that of the 2 times I've seen them live, that's not one of the ones they've done.
Yeah. I'm a little bit sad that the one time I saw them live, they didn't play "We're Desperate," and that's the first song I've heard from them.
Yeah.
That's the most meaningful.
Yeah.
In that sense. But, yep. And apparently they played it this time, but I didn't go see them for reasons we shall discuss later.
Yes. when we get
tuned.
serious later. Yeah.
Yes.
Stay tuned for that.
A very special episode.
Oh, we've gotten political before.
Hello?
Andrew, how's it going?
Steve, the restraining order.
Oh, that expired last week. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know we have a new live release out called Live, Laugh, Love, The Alliterates 2022 to 2024. Now on our Bandcamp page, thealliterates.bandcamp.com. Go check it out.
Okay. I need to call my lawyer. Bye.
Now we're recording.
And we are back for real this time.
And I'm still finalizing my notes, so hold on a second, guys.
All right.
Me too. And now I'm not.
So these songs are really short, so you don't always
Done.
have time to write down all your thoughts. Especially on
Thoughts?
this side.
I have no thoughts.
No thoughts, none, empty. So yeah, what did you fellas think of side 2?
I really enjoyed side 2. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as side 1, but not in any meaningful difference. So, I enjoyed the whole album. I thought this one had more diversity on this side than the first side, whereas I felt like side 1 had 2 distinct parts. This one felt more like compilation of different tracks that none of them really sounded the same, I would say. They all had their own character, and that was pretty cool.
I guess, to me, I'm really kind of surprised to hear you say you thought this side's more diverse. I thought the other side was almost obviously more diverse. Like, Steve, what are you talking about? What do you know? How can you possibly have an opinion different than my own? You're not allowed to do that, not in your own podcast. Come on, man. But, no.
I take back everything I said.
And that's how I will rule this country when given the chance. But no,
Carlos Mencia, 2028.
But I don't know if I necessarily use the word cohesive, but this is more rock straight through.
Yeah.
And there's still some variety within that rock, but it didn't have quite the dips into pure country that side 1 had.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's with X, there's always going to be some rockabilly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the closest I would say is Beyond and Back, because the first one I said almost sounds more like 50s style rock and roll, like Chuck Berry, than.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Especially that lead guitar lick in there. Yeah. But yeah. I guess we'll just get started on the songs. In This House That I Call Home, Chuck Berry guitar work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I put. Very, very old school rock and roll style, except fast, like the way that I always want it to be when I listen to that kind of rock and roll.
Yeah. Playing it really was playing old school rock and roll to a punk tempo. Yeah.
Well, what I like about In This House That I Call Home is I think it's one of John Doe's great bass lines.
Oh yeah.
It just has such a great feel to it. So I mean, I heard a lot of Latin influence on this song,
Yeah.
and so even with the the bass line, even during the verse sections where it wasn't quite as of a Latin feel rhythmically, he's still kind of putting that bum, 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 that kind of feel into it there.
Yeah.
And you even heard some of it, like on, I think, the second lead lick from Billy Zoom, you heard something that sounded very kind of like Mexican country music style. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So, and especially on the chorus, it was a huge Latin feel on the drums.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't like a straight ahead punk beat at all.
Yeah, the rhythm section really had it in this one a lot too. Just the bass and the drums together, like really evoking, kind of the Mexican country feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High energy.
High energy. Yep. Some other time, this one, I felt like this one was a really good lead-in to White Girl, and it almost felt like the beginning of the story. This was like sadder than most of the other songs on this album, or it felt sadder. It had kind of a wistfulness to it, like a sense of regret. There are 3 songs in this, which seem a lot about, like a sense of regret in a relationship. And I almost wonder how it would have gone if they would have all 3 gone in a row rather than 2 in a row, and then completely different songs, and then the last one. But yeah. This one, to me, it's almost more interesting as a lead into White Girl than it is on its own. But it's not like I dislike the song either. I always like the line, "I will always disconnect my arms from your arms."
Right.
Just kind of, like the honeymoon period is over, the affection is over, the falling apart of a relationship. It's really interesting.
So, I mean, I guess I don't know. At what point in time did they get divorced in relation to this album?
Years later.
Okay.
Like mid-'80s.
Okay.
Mid to late 80s.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
So I almost wonder how much of it is them in a rough patch at this point, or if any of this is just like, we're writing characters. But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say, I honestly, I have a hard time seeing these guys write just about characters. I mean, I think both of them are very intensely personal people.
Yeah.
And I think everything would have to be related to their actual life somehow. It can't just be some imaginary figure.
And none of their other songs are about characters, so it's hard for me to think these ones are too.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, some other time, I thought it's a great example of how Exene has that monotone singing style. I mean, and that's what's so punk rock about it, is that, she isn't really a great singer, but she did it anyway. She didn't give a shit. She did it anyway.
And she owned it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not only that, it's how she's able to do this monotone, slightly off-key singing, but there's a real beauty to it.
Yeah. Real, raw honesty to it.
Yeah. And honestly, I for something that I actually kind of got choked up a little bit, considering how I now feel about this band.
Yeah.
It kind of, creates some complicated emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some other time, I thought it was surfy at first, but when it got into the song proper, it actually kind of reminded me of, 90s alternative. Not... I could hear it being covered by a 90s alternative band. It sounded like if you took that song and put it in the 90s alternative rotation, nobody would have noticed. I thought it was... it really... the emotions you both were talking about, I think that the music did a great job conveying those emotions as well, in addition to the singing.
Yeah. So speaking of emotions and wistfulness and sadness, White Girl. This is the Fleetwood Mac song. This is a song about an affair where his wife is singing backup.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, part of the thing with why it's called White Girl, too, is, it was a kind of a small insular scene, and it was, the early LA punk scene was more racially diverse than it was in some other cities. So, if you're seen, if John Doe, hypothetically, was seen sneaking out with another girl and it was a white girl, that would kind of narrow down who it was. So it's okay, it wasn't a Lebanese-looking girl, so it wasn't Jane Wedlin, it wasn't Alice May, because she was Mexican, there's speculation that it was someone connected to the Germs in some way because of the, there's a line in, the first verse, which is, let's get it word for word. Leave a trail of blue and black. So it says blue and black rather than black and blue. So it's not about someone who's bruised necessarily, maybe.
Right.
It could be the germ symbol, which is a blue circle on a black background.
Oh,
Okay, so
conspiracy.
I would say 3 possibilities.
Yes.
Obviously, Lorna Doom.
Lorna Doom is a possibility, yeah.
Yes, as being the only female. Now, I'd also say, very rough, slight chance of this, but Belinda Carlisle was supposed to be the drummer of the Germs.
Yeah.
So that she got mono.
Yes.
So maybe, but most likely not.
Not by 81, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd also say, now we now know that Darby Crash was gay.
Yeah.
And whether or not nowadays, if given the freedoms that, well, I don't want to tout our freedoms too much.
Yeah.
But people are more comfortable becoming out as trans. Don't know if that would have been, something that he would have done as well. I don't want, I'm not going to try and speculate on someone who's been dead for 40 years.
Right.
But
yeah.
No reason it couldn't have been Darby.
No reason it couldn't have been.
Darby was blonde.
Yeah. And so, it's a really interesting song. It's probably my favorite song on the side. It's one of my favorite songs by the band. It's the sadness to it, the wistfulness, the way you can feel that it's not going to work just as you keep listening to the lyrics, just the, I'll replace your drunk old man and all that. Just, it's heartbreaking. It's a really rough song. And then to have the cheated on wife doing the vocals in it, it's
Oof.
For shame, for shame,
for shame.
From a musical perspective, I'll say, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
I like the menacing guitar riff on it. Reminded me kind of
Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see, Black Flag during, the Kira era. Ooh, Kira era. Doing, a really out-of-tune version because Greg Ginn doesn't know how to tune his guitar.
He's just playing jazz, Steve.
Jazz hands. But, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I think about it musically. But also, that is a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm glad you explained it because it has always been one of my favorite X songs, too. But it was always kind of like, is this a race thing? Because I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more about the cheating and the narrowing down of who it could be when your partner suspects type of thing.
So, all right, kind of like Becky with the good hair.
Yeah, a lot like that. Yeah. But yeah, and then next on a completely different note, because they didn't do the 3 songs on that theme in a row, we're going to go to Beyond and Back, which is the one that I thought was funny about Billy Zoom being born again, because Exene wrote it after finding a Bible pamphlet on the street and kind of riffing on it.
I like that it was fast and twangy, and I think it's my favorite on side B.
It's a really fun one. It's a really good energy boost after the sadness, so I understand why it's there, and it's a great song.
Let's bring things up a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's another one of my all-time favorite X songs.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because of Billy Zoom. I mean, the guitar playing is just fucking. He brings it home.
Yeah.
He really just brings it home on this one. And after hearing it, I kind of feel like I need a cigarette.
Yeah. I just love the shut up and smoke. Yeah.
How do you not sing along to that?
Yeah. We were.
Yeah. I don't smoke. I've never really been a smoker, but I sing along to that line.
This is music to smoke to, anything rockabilly tinged makes me want to, I don't know, maybe I can buy a pack of Lucky Strikes again and hide them, because my spouse doesn't like it if I do. So yeah. Lucky Strikes, my white girl. And since they listen to this, no, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes again. I have quit a long time ago. That is on the record.
Yeah. Just for
I'm gonna make you smoke a whole carton as punishment.
Yeah.
Spouse, I'll watch over him. Because Steve is a bad influence.
Yes.
Yeah, I injected too many marijuanas.
Into your dick.
Straight into it.
Back to the bass. This one was fun.
Yeah, just silly fun, very bouncy.
Yeah. About riding on the bus.
I definitely had kind of it reminded me of Dead Kennedys, but not Dead Kennedys like the normal, like, surfy East Bay race, but kind of like something like a weird one that Klaus would write.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I definitely hear that.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking, I could hear a Gong Farmer play it, but,
Yeah.
but not very well.
No, yeah.
But at the same
Too
time,
fast for a gong farmer.
yeah, but at the same time, it still kind of felt like a little bit maybe of a throwaway song at the same time. Like if it wasn't on the album, nothing would really change.
Yeah, like I enjoy it, but yeah, it is deep inside side 2 after all of the really meaningful tracks. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then speaking of meaningful tracks, When Our Love Passed Out on the Couch. That one felt like a sequel to the Some Other Time White Girl trilogy, if they were to do it as a trilogy.
So I actually only had, because I don't know the lyrics nearly as well as you do, because I'm a bad fan. But the only note I had on here was devil horn emoji, metal, 3 exclamation points, metal horn emoji.
I mean, it is a kick-ass song.
Yeah, I think because I spent so much time listening to music that are sung by crazy monster men, I don't really pay as much attention to lyrics as Dave probably does. But so I just put great rocker.
So, like when you're kids and you're listening to music that your parents think are evil, and you say, "Oh, I don't listen to the lyrics." I wasn't lying. I was lying when I said that. I focus on the lyrics. I was always listening to the lyrics. But the chorus is, "I hate it. I love you. I hate that I need to know what you do when our love passed out on the couch."
I know that part.
Yeah.
It's the verse sections. I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's
all,
just...
all I hear is a sorry.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
one for the collection.
Yeah.
At the end of this, I'm going to make a big old cut of all the a cappella vocalizations that people have done on riffs and just string them together into a song.
Yeah, no, like the verse, it's like, "You're fateful, I'm hateful, and I ruin any kind of fun you have in mind." Like, yeah.
Are we talking about butt stuff? That sounds like they're talking about butt stuff.
They could be talking about butt stuff. But yeah, it's a cool song. It sits at a good place on the album too, though. Like as the second to the last song, just to like how they pick it up, like from the point where it slows down in the middle to like faster rockers, I think works really well. Year 1, it's a hoedown.
Yeah, solid closer with great energy. And I just like that they just ended the album on a sudden stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it had hand clapping and like gang vocal yelling and yeah.
Well, I've always, not just with X in general, I've always loved double snare hits for accents. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
I it's infectious to me.
And another one for the collection.
And again, the guitar playing was just like spot on. And this one, I was actually talking about this at band practice the other day about how I do like modulation to a degree, but it's very difficult to do it and have it sound organic. So many times it sounds forced.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of how it can sound organic. How it just fit right at that spot. And then, before you know it, the song just ends. It is sneakily short.
Yeah. It's like 75 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
But it feels like it could go forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the way the bass line walks on it too, and it's just...
Yeah.
Was it really that short? Because it didn't feel like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a very short song.
It's one of the shorter songs on an album full of short songs, yeah. Yeah, 1 minute 18. So, 78 seconds.
So, a little bit longer than your average Tiananmen Square song.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the songs on this album are like short. Like as a whole, like I think this is shorter songs than their debut album, Los Angeles, for the most part.
It was a very, I'd say, lean album because there weren't any moments on this album where I felt like it was getting dull or stale. It kept my attention throughout the entire thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're right because they're really good about, there's kind of a fine line sometimes on how much to give, and how much like, oh, you crossed the line, you gave too much, now it becomes boring.
Yeah.
I think you're right that they really kind of they knit the hail on the head. I said what I said.
yes. Blame the lack of air conditioning for the past 2 days.
It just reminds me of Sean sitting there listening to one of the Ace Frehley songs. He just sits forward and goes, "Fucking end!"
It wasn't just that there's no AC in my parents' house. My vehicle doesn't have AC either.
Oh.
Yeah. So we drove all 3 hours with all 4 windows down. Occasionally, the kid would roll his window up if there were too many pig smells. And believe me, driving through Iowa, there's a lot of pig smells.
It's like all there is. So like for long stretches too. Like it,
Yeah.
because it's not just the field; it just follows for a long time.
Well, and actually what's really nasty too is that just north of the Council Bluffs area too, where it's still kind of flooded along the ditches and everything. Oh, it reeks of floodwater
Oh yeah, and then some of that's runoff from the pig places.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different horror.
Stinky.
It's kind of
Yes, I know
appropriate.
it's your nickname.
Yeah, it's kind of appropriate that we're talking about rural driving while listening to a country and rockabilly tinged punk album.
True. Yeah.
Well, I will say, I guess y'all have shown me X before, but I don't remember it. So this has been a great first experience to the band X, and yeah, I would recommend it to anybody that likes high energy rock music with a twangy country and or rockabilly twist.
And now I'm going to tell you why this might be your last experience with X.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I've X has been a huge part of my musical upbringing, so to say. Been a fan of the band for years, but it's hard to still support a band when one of the singers also has gone on record as saying that the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax, and has encouraged people to harass the parents of dead children. And so I gotta say, even though my cat is named after her, fuck Exene. I mean, I can't support that shit no more. You know?
Yeah, she did back away from it in kind of a cowardly way, but not in a I don't believe this anymore way, and I don't want the trouble anymore way.
It's I feel your pain because that's exactly how I felt when Dave Mustaine became a Alex Jones
Acolyte.
Yeah, and he did exactly the same thing. He cowardly backed away from it because he couldn't take the heat. And he's just like, oh, I was on painkillers, so that's why I said Obama killed people in a Sikh temple. Like,
Oh, she didn't go that far. It's it was weird. Like her beliefs are more all over the place than Mustaine's, I think.
But Mustaine might be a little bit more sane.
Yeah.
Mustaine is just, I think, vaguely anti-government at this point.
Right.
And then Xena has said like some decent things too. Like when Billy Zoom got cancer, she talked about the problems in that, like with healthcare, in a way that's not that different from something I would say.
But at the same time,
yeah.
you have to care about these things when it doesn't happen to someone you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Billy Zoom, along with the Born Again Christian, I think has some rather strong beliefs and things that I would strongly disagree with.
Yeah.
And it is always difficult to kind of, because you don't ever want to be in a situation where, like, no, you have to believe what I believe. But sometimes when a belief is dangerous enough, you have to say, I can't support that, so I can't support this person. And I even started thinking about the song Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, the song Los Angeles does drop the N-bomb. And for a long time, I took it as kind of a, certainly wouldn't have done that today. But that's kind of thing that we, kind of was still able to kind of fly back to the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And, and it was a song about someone they knew that was racist. And that was one thing. All right, so I kind of let that justify a little bit, but then I find out that it's not just someone they knew. This is a friend of theirs, someone that they're still friends with, who admittedly does have one of the greatest stage names or fake names of all time, Farrah Fawcett Minor. So I will give her credit on that. And so I've started to have kind of mixed feelings as kind of like, do I still feel comfortable being a fan of this band? I mean, I love the music. I'm not going to try and tell you that I don't. But it's, I definitely have mixed emotions about them now.
Yeah, I do too. It is interesting when they do Los Angeles now, they change it.
They do?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that when I saw them in 2017, they did not.
In 2024, they did.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know at what point they decided to change it, but yeah, at some point they did.
What did they change it to?
I didn't quite make it out, but it was definitely not that word.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of get a bit of a head fuck with System of a Down because, like, Surge's lyrics influenced a lot of the things that I believe in, but they have a anti-gay, anti-trans drummer who seems to go against everything that Surge ever wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, his drum beats aren't going to make me think like a fascist. So,
there is,
yeah. And it's not like me listening to them on stream is making him super rich or anything. So it's not like it's really negatively affecting the world in any way. So, yeah, it's tough because.
No, that's the whole thing. Is I'm not just a huge System of a Down fan, but I do like them. In fact, I even showed my son a couple of their videos last night.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe 2 nights ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago. But
they're a fantastic band.
Yeah.
I mean, Surge is one of my favorite vocalists. So.
Yeah, and he's actually a damn good drummer. He's just, I don't like his brain waves.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you can be in a band where your singer is singing the exact opposite of what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, I mean, in most bands I've been in, I've written the lyrics to a large degree.
Yeah.
This new one is an exception. I have not written a single lyric for this new one. But I'm pretty confident that he's not going to write any, anti-trans, anti-gay, or, racist screed or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can handle a certain degree of disagreement on, certain things when I don't think it's morally wrong. Just, I don't think that's the best way to go about things.
Right, yeah.
But, when
There's
it becomes like when I was in the band with the libertarian guy that wanted to do all Ayn Rand lyrics, it's just I can't do it. That's completely against what I believe in. So, yeah. That's tough. And then sometimes I like listening to Burzum, not because I'm a fan, but because it's silly.
Yeah, it's for me, I don't know. I still enjoy the band, and I will still enjoy them enough to see them live if they decide not to the members involved decide not to cowardly back away from that kind of thing again. I might reevaluate it at that point, but I don't know. It can be hard to draw that line sometimes, and I wouldn't hold it against anyone who drew the line at a different place.
Speaking of drawing the line, planning on doing a special at some point where we review Iced Earth's Glorious Burden. He crossed the line for me in participating in January 6th. But actually, he'd already crossed the line for me long before that when he did his Sons of Liberty project, which is all fucking stupid conspiracy nonsense. And yeah, looking forward to making fun of John Schaefer. Would you like to be on that one, Pete?
Maybe. Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah.
How dare you call me by my real name? Because no one will know who I am but my voice. I am super secret because you will have a voice phaser, right? You will make me sound like this?
Yes. And people will listen to an entire podcast of that.
Because why wouldn't they?
Because why wouldn't they?
Did you see the John Mulaney had some sort of like special on Netflix where it was like it was like a live special, and they did like multiple nights of it. But they had like some pre-recorded segments, and Fred Armisen went around LA and collected old punk rockers, and so all right. So Lee Vang was there, Exene, DJ Bonebreak, George Hurley and Mike Watt.
Oh, nice.
Stan Lee might have been there too, and a few other people and whatnot, and I think Kid Congo too.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it was actually kind of an embarrassing little bit. I felt really kind of bad for these people to be involved in this whole thing. And then Fred Armisen got them all to try and like write a song together.
Oh.
And it was as bad as you'd imagine it would be.
People who just grabbed off the streets, some of them haven't ever worked together creatively before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And multiple people are on the same instrument and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. How many guitars can you fit into this song? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think at some point in time, George Hurley was playing drums and DJ had like a tambourine or some shit.
Yeah.
DJ Bonebreak. I mean, honestly, putting DJ Bonebreak or George Hurley on a tambourine alone is kind of like a dick move.
Yeah, they were two of the
Excellent
best. Two of the best drummers in the whole LA scene, I think.
Yeah.
If not like the two best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like
Lee Ving's funny as shit as an
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, he is. You know, like if you're gonna have DJ Bonebreak on something other than drums, like I don't know, he's really good at the xylophone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have him on that. I must not think bad thoughts. Different album.
No, well, on the XD behind XD Unheard Music, the documentary, they show him playing the Flying Home solo, which was another callback to my future life, as I'm now a huge Charlie Christian and Lionel Hampton fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Charlie Christian.
You know? Yeah. But actually, first place I heard that kind of stuff was from X.
Yeah, I put a Charlie Christian pickup in my Telecaster, and it sounds amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think we are probably have everything there. Pedro, where can people find you?
You can't. However, I will say, Hot Rods to the Gods is looking for a guitar player or a lead guitar player that is primarily into punk rock, but also has an interest and ability to play grandpa metal, as in pre-thrash metal, and old 60s soul music.
All right. So you're moving up to a 5-piece.
No, still
Okay.
4-piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we're 3-piece now.
Okay.
So, yeah, someone had to drop out.
Oh yeah, as these things go, yeah.
Yep.
But all right, so Hot Rod to the Gods, and then all of our plugs are in the bump at the end, so that should be it,
Or in the description.
or in the description.
And now we're all going to go do X.
Not at this time on a weeknight.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
As soon as you guys get out of my house.
Yeah. All right, catch you on the flip side.
Bam. Side 1, Side B is a Floof Goof Studios production. Check us out on the interwebs by going to my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. And there's a tab for Side 1, Side B. And additionally, you can check out me and Dave's projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, respectively. You can also check us out on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. Thank you. Waka waka. Suck it.
Let's shut the fuck up.
We're gonna choke you. My mouth is on fire.
Let me show you how to jam.
Wrong. Flip, flip, flip. All right,
I hate the Holocaust too.
I hate that you made me think of that.
What do you know? How can you possibly have an opinion different than my own?